Well, NXT UK had an amazing main event between Walter and Ilya Dragunov for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. Also, 205 Live, Kendrick is getting his mojo back after a series of losses, and New Japan Strong has many great matches. We're now going to road to New Japan Showdown. So all of that will be discussed on Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up. 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 Get up, get up.
Welcome everybody for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, many promotions, matches, wrestlers, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's get started with NXT UK. The first match of the night is a women's match. We have Aoife Valkyrie versus Dani Luna. Now, I'm becoming now a fan of Aoife Valkyrie. I mean, her unique style, the way she has applied. She plays like a little Viking type of, person, a Viking type of style. As for Dina Luna, I've seen her many times over. She plays that hot-headed girl who is trying desperate to win, but she never listens to what happens, even though she won a victory a couple weeks ago, teaming with Xia Brookside. But the match went great. I liked it. Aoife Valkyrie won the match. It was unbelievable. I can't wait to see her more. Hopefully, she makes a play for the NXT UK Women's Championship. Now, the next thing we got is a bit of the recap of the Heritage Cup. Now, if you all know, it started with 8 wrestlers: Alexander Wolf, Noam Dar, Flash Morgan Webster, A-Kid, Trent Seven, Kenny Williams, Dave Massey, and a guy named Khan or something. So each of the brackets, Noam Dar won his, so did A-Kid, Mastiff, and of course Trent Seven. But however, who will now advance? It's already been announced that next week on NXT UK it will be the semifinals. It's Noam Dar versus A-Kid in their bracket, and Dave Mastiff versus Trent Seven on theirs. So I'm excited to see who is gonna make it to the finals, and I'm very kind of predicting that in one bracket it's Noam Dar while the other is Trent Seven. Don't ask me why, but we'll see how that goes. Now, as you know, early this year, if you guys don't know this, one of the most prominent tag team champions, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, have been one of the top rating tag teams in the NXT UK brand. But however, early this year, someone viciously attacked Mark Andrews. Now, nobody knew who it was, and then after the Heritage Cup tournament where Flash Morgan Webster lost his match, someone attacked him, and then Eddie Dennis goes out saying that he believes that it was Morgan who attacked Andrews, and Andrews was, so basically he was stirring things up. So basically they wanted to make it clear it wouldn't be one of them or the other. But Dennis continued to stir things up, but he did stated the was his name Andrews made it perfectly clear that he knew him for 15 years. He knows how devious he is. So he actually used a phrase from The Godfather, which is keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So that's practically what happened. Now, apparently, I don't know what happened. Dennis called out Pretty Deadly, one of the most newer tag teams, who feels that they deserve are right there with Eddie Dennis. And then, of course, Andrew Morgan had the Hunt right behind him. But apparently, the biggest shock the Hunt betrayed Morgan and Webster. These guys were very close friends, and all of a sudden, now Pretty Deadly, in the other hand, in the aftermath, they had no clue what was going on. They had no idea that this was gonna happen. They don't know what was going on, what was Dennis' motives are. But however, they decided, let's move on. So they got in hold of the executive manager, Sid Scalia, asking them if when are they gonna get their shot of the tag team titles. And then this other dude, I forgot his name, he was willing to tag team with them because, as you know or don't know, those who are new, Gallius are the current NXT UK Tag Team Champions. But apparently, Gallius overheard this, but they said next week Gallius will be in full force with the return of Joe Coffey, who was suspended since June because of the situation with the Speaking Out movement. But we'll see how that goes. I don't know how some fans would feel about it. My brother is not feeling the love with Matt Riddle or um, Valentine Dream. You guys don't know that, so he told me this himself. Now, the next thing we have is Piper Niven gives his statement about Kaylee Ray. Now, she still wants to get the title, even though Kaylee Ray has always somehow been dominant, but believes that no one can take her out. Piper Niven still has that mentality. She needs to get to the title. She hasn't won that title at all, you know. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm really going to pay attention to this one. Next thing we have is a match between the return of Jordan Devlin, the Irish Ace, versus Levi Muir. Now, this is a bit of a strange thing that's happened. As you all know, Jordan Devlin was amongst those that was accused of sexual assault. Some girl accused him and all, but I don't know how you guys would feel about that. But here's how it happened. The match was great. I liked it. It looks like Jordan Devlin didn't miss a beat. But of course, he won the match as always. And his catchphrase, never make a bet with an Irish Ace. But however, I have that distinct feeling that he will head to the States and confront Santos Escobar. As you all know, since the pandemic happened, the NXT UK, the NXT Cruiserweight Championship was unable to be defended while Jordan Devlin was stuck overseas. And then they decided to have an interim and then finally NXT Cruiserweight Champion. I don't know how Santos would react to it, but if I was Santos, I would make a bet. But as Jordan Devlin says, never bet on the Irish Ace. So that's how he says it. But we'll see how it goes out in the main event. Now, the main event of this is for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. This is between Ilya Dragunov and Walter. Ilya, who used to be one of Walter's students back training in Germany. Man, this match was so brutal. I never expected. I mean, this is the kind of things you don't see here in the States. The British style or European style is much more different than here in the United States. But man, Ilya Dragunov put everything powerhouse trying to win as possible. He seems like he was able to try to take control of the match, but however, every pinfall that he makes, Walter kicks out. So, but however, it ended with still retaining the title, the England General, Walter. So the real question is, who is willing to dethrone Walter? That's another question we may have to answer. It's down the line. But for now, I'll end it here, and let's move on to 205 Live. Alright, so this part of the episode with 205 Live is going to be short and simple. So, they had only two matches. The first match is Arya Davari, along with Tony Nese, facing off against Kurt Stallion. Now, a couple weeks ago, Kurt Stallion faced Arya Davari in one of those matches that he set up with the briefcase. So basically, what happened is Tony Nese got involved, costing Kurt Stallion the match. But however, he didn't get the briefcase, even though he won the match by disqualification. And then the week after that, which was last week, uh, Tony Nese was in the match against Stallion. But of course, Davari was right there, causing interference. But this match was more different than average. Now we're seeing that there may be a push for a guy who is currently in the Performance Center. Kurt Stallion, he's been on the Performance Centers. Don't know yet. I'm still trying to find more information about him. But man, that match was an upset. Kurt Stallion somehow won by eliminating Tony Nese from the equation, allowing himself to pick up the victory. This is one of those matches that it kind of like shows, oh my god, I did not expect that. But yes, it happened. So Kurt Stallion has his first victory, and hopefully, maybe one day we will continue to see him more and more down the line. We'll see how that goes. Starting to get to know who he is. I mean, I'm familiarized with Tony Nese and Arya Davari, but we'll see how that goes. As you all know, Brian Kendrick has been not himself. He's been in a losing streak for quite some time. He lost to Isaiah Scott and a few others. But however, he was hanging out with Mansoor. But Everrise, another prominent tag team group, being the cocky dorks that they are, trying to stir things up. So Mansoor and Kendrick decided to team up against Everrise. So Everrise spent much of their time in the match talking trash, trying to get um, separate the Kendrick from Mansoor or Mansoor from Kendrick. Of course, Mansoor was using one of Kendrick's moves from his playbook, which is the slide spread, and it ended with that match like that with the slide spread. So it allowed Mansoor and Brian Kendrick to pick up the victory. So, thus, Brian Kendrick still got his mojo. Well, we'll see how that goes in the upcoming weeks. So, as you know, I've been a fan of Brian Kendrick when he was teamed with Paul London, but we'll see how that goes. Now let's go with New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, and or should I say NJPW Strong, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're here for NJPW Strong Road to New Japan Showdown, which is one of their other events that they do. So the first match that they have is a tag team. We got the Regal Twins. Finally, after 6 months that we haven't seen those two being together, facing off against the the Lime Breaks Cup winner Clark Connors, teaming with the DKC. So basically, this is one of those moments where seeing, okay, so the Young Lions teaming up with another fresh face. But the Regal Twins, my God, those guys have been one of those tag teams that you got to pay attention. They've always worked together. They've been a tag team, kind of like similar to what we've seen with the Bucks. But excuse me, my throat's dry. But it's amazing to see those two back together. As you guys want to know, where was the one of the Regal Twins at? Well, it's already been foretold that he was on excursion in the UK before the pandemic happened. So basically, he was stuck over there. So there was no way. Now I think we're seeing, if you guys paid attention recently, we just saw Pete Dunne made his appearance in NXT. Maybe there is a chance we may see certain wrestlers who are from the UK coming back to the States. So we'll just wait and see how that goes. But man, the match was great. I liked it. Now the next match we have um, Blake Christian versus the Alpha Wolf, and of course a graduate of the LA Dojo Young Lions, Carl Fredericks. This is one of those matches you gotta pay attention. You see, I'm a fan of Blake Christian's. I've been watching him wrestle for when was that? Since what was it? Since I've been seeing the GCW events, he really is unbelievable. I love Blake Christians, but you have to give credit to Carl Fredericks because, if you guys know, was a former young lion, and now he's a small fish in a big pond, trying to make a name for himself. But however, some things never change. Where Fredericks, he actually applied the finisher move, the Boston Crab. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully we can make things great for that. Hopefully we can see more of Carl Fredericks down the line. So he claims that in the post match interview that he is in charge of the New Japan Strong Style brand right now because it's here in the States. So he is declaring himself the daddy of them all. Now let's get it to our main event. It's the Bullet Club, leading by Kenta, teaming with Tama Tonga and Tongaloa of God, along with their brother, or should I say their little big brother, Hakuleo, versus David Finlay, Mysterioso, Alex Zane, and PJ Black. So this was a good match. I have to say this is one of those matches that really impressed me because you get to see a bit of the storyline that's going on. David Finlay's issues with Kenta, since he claims that he pinned him, he deserves the shot of the briefcase to contain the contract for the IWGP United States Championship that is currently being held by Jon Moxley. So I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. But it was a great match. Of course, certain tactics with the Bullet Club never changes. As you know, kicking while they're going through the ropes or pulling wrestlers out, all that never changes. But however, you cannot deny the power of one individual within the Bullet Club. I'm talking about Hakuleo. But however, David Finlay is still wants a piece of Kenta. Now, Kenta is reluctant not to put that briefcase on the line because he wants a piece of Jon Moxley. Because Kenta is up for a challenge. He's not the kind of guy who's just going to let someone else take away his prize. Now, the title means something to him, but however, Moxley, he's just another name that he wants to cross off knowing I beat you. So, you probably ask yourselves, are we ever going to see Moxley in New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong? The answer to that question, no. Or if they can make a deal. Reason is, ever since Moxley signed with AEW, he's only allowed to appear in AEW US shows. So whatever US shows New Japan has here, Moxley is forbidden to be in it. So basically, he's not allowed to do that. But if things go well between AEW in their way, if they have New Japan in their partnership, then we may see Jon Moxley in NJPW Strong. But however, he prefers to go to Japan because he loves going to Japan. So I think that's it for now for all of you guys. Stay tuned for more stuff that I'll put out. I got some projects I'm still working on to get done. I'm a bit behind with everything else. So I must bid all of you guys adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.